What if the next time a scammer calls you, things don't go quite the way they planned? Instead of getting your money or your password or control over your computer, they get absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing. And depending on your mood, you can waste a little or a lot of their time in the process. You can fight back against scammers, but there's a smart way to do it and there's a very bad way. Welcome to Clicking with Confidence. I'm Rico. And today I'm going to show you how to turn the tables on scammers without hacking anybody, threatening anybody, or putting yourself at risk. And we'll start with the one that I think is probably the most fun, wasting their time. I mean, scammers make money by moving quickly. It's a game of numbers to them. They want to get through as many phone calls and potential victims as possible until somebody finally takes the bait. So what they hate is going nowhere. Now, before we go any further, let's clear a few things up. Hanging up is always the best thing to do, or the safest thing to do. If you're not completely certain you're talking to a scammer, just end the call. But every once in a while, you get one where there really isn't much doubt. You know, your Microsoft Windows license has expired, the IRS wants payment and gift card, that kind of call. If you're absolutely certain it's a scam and you decide to keep them talking for a minute or two, you don't have to be clever. It helps, but it's not a requirement. In fact, acting confused works a lot better sometimes. So when they tell you to go to your computer, tell them you have to turn it on, and then make them wait 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes while your supposedly really old computer starts up. Then when they give you an instruction, ask them to repeat it. Ask them to repeat every instruction. Then when they get to telling you to look for a button, tell them you can't find it because you don't have your glasses on. And could they please hold while you go look for your glasses? And then walk away or put down the phone for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. I don't know. Go make yourself a sandwich or something. The idea isn't to insult them and not to threaten them. And definitely don't tell them that you're onto them and know they're a scammer. Just give them absolutely nothing useful and waste their time. The whole concept is delay, delay, delay. Personally, I think there might even be a better way to do that. Let a computer or your phone waste their time instead. Services such as RoboKiller have something called answer bots, and when the service recognizes certain unwanted calls, a pre-recorded bot can answer and keep the caller occupied while you go about your day. Think about it. I love that concept. It's not free, but it's a cheap source of entertainment. I mean, the scammer thinks they have a live one on the line. Meanwhile, you're sitting on the couch eating potato chips and watching a TV show. Now that's fighting back without actually fighting. But there's an obvious problem with everything I just told you. Before you start playing games with somebody who you think is a scammer, you better make sure they are a scammer. So, how do you identify the scam? Well, this is where technology can really be helpful to you. I mean, suppose you receive an email that looks like it came from your bank. I mean, it has the bank's logo, their address, their phone number, and the message sounds convincing, but something about it is a little bit off. And the same idea applies to like a suspicious text message you get or a QR code that you receive from some company you've done business with. Just remember, you don't have to make an instant decision. I mean, the scammers want everything to feel urgent. You want to waste their time. You can identify whether or not that is a real email or text or QR code or a scam with a tool from a company called Bitdefender, and the tool is called Scameo. You can show Scameo whatever raised the red flag. Even take pictures, send it a screenshot, send it the QR code, forward the text message, forward the email, do whatever, and ask whether it appears to be a scam. I mean, think of this as a second opinion, and I want to emphasize those words, second opinion, because it's another tool to help you make a decision. It is not permission to click on something if it says, well, it looks okay to me. If you are still uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, don't click it. I mean, the absolute best verification method is the simplest one. If a message supposedly came from your bank, open up your bank's app or type your bank's website into your browser bar and go check it out yourself. If Amazon says there's a problem with your order, go right to Amazon. But whatever you do, do not let the message tell you how to verify its authenticity. You need to pick your own road on this one. That one habit takes away one of the scammer's biggest weapons, getting you to react before you have time to think. And once you've identified the scam, here's what you do next. Make sure they can't get into your computer. Lock them out. One of the nastiest scams out there starts with somebody pretending to be technical support. They may claim to be from Microsoft or your internet company, a security company, or even your bank. And they'll tell you that there's something wrong with your computer, and fortunately for you, they've been monitoring it and they're here to help you fix it. And all you have to do is install this one little program. Well, that one little program can give them remote access to your computer. And to be sure, remote access programs are extremely useful. I rely on programs like TeamViewer to conduct the vast majority of my business. But the difference is my clients know me and have met me in person, and they know that I'm there to help them. You don't know Kevin from Microsoft now, do you? Just saying, there's a difference. And once you've installed their program, they're going to be able to see what you're doing, move your mouse around, open things, close folders. Hell, they can lock you out of your computer. And there's nothing you can do about it. So rather than arguing with the scammer, take away the tool they need. And there's a program specifically designed for this type of scam. It's called Seraph Secure, which was developed by Kit Boga and his team. You know, its basic free protection can detect remote access tools and block new remote connections. And that's a very different way of fighting back. You aren't outsmarting the person on the other end of the phone. You're simply locking the door with a big old deadbolt and a board across it now. And if the scammer tells you that you need to turn off that security software before they can help you, that should tell you everything you need to know about them. And at that point, the conversation's over. Just hang up. Now, there is one line I absolutely do not want you crossing, because you're going to see videos or websites where people actually break into scammers' computers and delete their files or trace their systems or try to shut down their operations. And some are very knowledgeable people, and they make very entertaining videos doing things like that. But as a cybersecurity expert, I can tell you there are professionals like me who are hired by companies to test computer systems for security problems. But we do it with specific permission and with a very specific set of rules established ahead of time by those companies. That's completely different from deciding you're going to hack a scammer yourself. And believe it or not, hacking is not as simple as it's portrayed on TV or in the movies. It's just not. You know, accessing somebody's computer without permission can create serious legal problems, even when the person on the other end happens to be a criminal. And there's an even more obvious reason not to try this. If you find some unknown website offering a program that supposedly lets you hack the hackers, think about what you're doing. You're trying to protect yourself from criminals by downloading mysterious software from a stranger on the internet. I think we can spot the problems with that plan right there. I mean, leave that kind of work to law enforcement and cybersecurity professionals who've been specifically authorized to do it. You don't need to break into a scammer's computer. You just need to keep them out of yours. So yes, you can fight back against scammers. You can waste a lot of their time. Technology can really help you determine whether that suspicious email is really what it claims to be. And you can put another barrier between a remote access scammer and your computer. And none of this is about revenge. You don't win by getting into an argument with a criminal. You win when they don't get your password, money, control over your computer, and you've wasted some of their time. They get nothing. The goal today is to make yourself a harder target. I mean, criminals generally go after the low hanging fruit, the easier target. And when they realize you're not that, they're going to go looking somewhere else. I'm Rico with Clicking with Confidence. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And links to all the software that I mentioned are in a pinned comment down below or in the video description up above. Appreciate your time.